Good evening, everybody. We are enjoying the weather for a little while. I guess it's supposed to really get cold Saturday, so be prepared for that. I think my son said where he's at, like 17 degrees, just north of Wichita there, and it's be up low 20s here, I think. Yeah, he done. So anyway, um, Brother Mike's Chelsea got diagnosed with Chelsea. Shy Lynn got diagnosed with COVID. Hello, Darcy. And so he took her to the emergency room or urgent care Sunday evening, and she was feeling pretty puny back there. But anyway, they gave her some medicine and straightened her right up. And she's doing real good now. She is having problems with the baby. So keep her in prayer on that. Tonight, the plans are we're just going to have a short devotion and then prayer service. Yeah. She did? Oh, okay. Mike didn't tell me that. Okay, yeah. I got a list started here, prayer requests, and they're on that. So, but they've been fighting a lot of stuff. You know, Brother Mike, he was feeling a little puny himself today, but he said he was back to going, and all the kids have been kind of sick, but they're not. It's just kind of like maybe a bug going around for them. So, no, they're at the house. They've because of Cheyenne, they have to quarantine. So that means Sunday there'll be no New Year's Eve on the 31st here, like Brother Mike was wanting to do. So that's out. That's go ahead and do what you want to on that night. Sunday service, that'll be Brother Steve preaching that, and it'll just be the service. So no Sunday school, no afternoon service. It'll just be from 11 to noon, that service. So plan on that. We need to let those that aren't watching tonight or not here, we need to let them know somehow. So get that going. Prayer requests. I put down Brother Galen. Got him on there. Brother Whaley, Pat Brown, Chelsea Turner. Got Sebastian on there. How's Sebastian doing? Is he? Mm-hmm. That's good. We'll keep him in prayer. Of course, we got the Truman family. Chris and Amy's coming up. I guess they got diagnosed with it too, but like my brother Mike said, he said might as well be quarantined together, you know, family. So Tom and Macaria. Tom's got the sniffles, I guess, something like that. And then Macaria, she's been doing some tests and stuff, so keep her in prayer. She's got a battle ahead of her. Shy's mom thinks she might have COVID. And Jeff Kennedy, I don't know if anybody here knows Jeff. Justin went to school with Jarrett, and he goes with us to the lake every year and all that. But it's his dad, and Jeff got COVID. I guess he's in the hospital, and they went ahead and intubated him. And they said he only had like 10% chance of making it, but Jarrett said today he's doing a lot better. So he come in and wired up the sound booth for us. That's Jeff. So, and Steve Martin, he's kind of down on the weather right now, so keep him in prayer. He will be preaching Sunday, so be praying for him on that. And I got Dana, my wife, down there. She, let's see, I took out Monday morning, delivered Fort Collins noonish or so. I think I got out of there about 2:00 in the afternoon, our time. And I had to come straight home because she had plugged up again on her graft. So, and that's brand new. So I had to have her back up to Heart Hospital by 6:00 this morning. So I ended up sleeping out in the pickup most of the morning. And then, but they got her opened back up, I guess, and they sucked on her for about 2 hours today. They're at the blood suckers. And so be praying for her on that, because that's her last sight. You know, all the other sites ain't working. So anyway, is there any other prayer requests we can put on here? Courtney. Okay. Any others? Okay. We'll keep them in prayer, and when we pray tonight, if anybody wants a copy of this, they're more than welcome to have it. I just thought I'd go back on one of my old lessons when we did Sunday school, and it's about trials and tribulations. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's we're definitely going through a bunch of them, not just personally, but as a nation and everything else right now. You know, it sure makes you want to turn to the Lord, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't. You know, and it's sad, but can't. I think it's there in 2 Thessalonians. Before the Lord comes back, there'll be a great falling away, or like that's going to be happening. What that's going to look like, I don't know. We may be seeing it right now. I got 1 Peter chapter 5. This is not my Bible, so I got to get used to the size of the letters, because that determines how many pages the chapters are. So I usually blow past them. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 10. But the God of all grace, who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Jesus Christ, after that we have suffered a while, make you perfect, established, strength, settle you. So trials and tribulations make us perfect and settled. You know, if you don't have them, I mean, how do you grow and learn? You know, I was talking to Brother Mike one day, and he's talking about, man, you know, you older folk just know so much more. I said, well, I don't know if that's the case. It's probably more the case we've messed up so many times, we know how not to mess up so much anymore. Or we can see the mess up coming before the mess up gets there, you know. Yeah, right. You know, and God gives the wisdom, and kind of like I told my son one day, I said, you can go to, he has great common sense, but he went to college and got book smart, and made a comment to him. I said, that's great. I said, the only thing you're lacking now is experience, So he didn't like that. He didn't like that one bit. And he made sure I understood that. But he does now. Yeah, he does now. He gets it, So it was just a little aggravated because he was you just count on him for anything, He'd figure it out, and he's really gotten good at it. So James chapter 1. I got a bunch of verses up here. We can just keep this going all night. James chapter 1, verse 12. This is a good one. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to those crowns. How many of those crowns do we get? Are we eligible to get? 5 of them. Crown of righteousness, crown of life, crown of glory, crown of incorruptible crown, crown of rejoicing. So those crowns, that I don't know about you, but I want to be found worthy to get those crowns. You get, I don't know, in my life, I've kind of been forced to reckon with death with very close family members. And it's really taught me a lot. And crowns, I don't know, the Bible talks a lot about crowns, especially in the end times. We see Christ and all that, casting them at his feet. I don't understand all that, but I want to be able to cast my crowns at his feet. You know what I mean? I want to make sure I got crowns to cast at his feet. What about all these people that don't, or not going to have it? And I'm not talking just lost. I'm talking about Christians. Crown of righteousness, man, you can get in deep into that. Crown of life during your trials, I got a note here. It says you can cheat on that crown and get yourself martyred, the instant, crown of life on that one. But anyway, crown of glory, feed the flock. I was always taught as a little guy, only ones that can get that crown was preachers. But that's not true. We need to be witnessing to everybody. There's a young man over there, pretty much everybody knows Wednesday night after church is Taco Tico night at my house, So there's a young man over there. I don't know how many of our Missionary Baptist Church tracts I've given him, but I keep inviting him to church. He's working over last week. He told me that was his last night, and he's starting over at Domino's Pizza. So I thought, well, I guess I'm going to have a Domino's Pizza night in Ark City, So, real nice young man, and it's just more than one there. I usually try to get a bunch of them, but we need to be doing that all the time. We started out with a stack of tracts back here. I bet that stack was that deep in that box. It's about 1/2 inch at best now. So Arkalila bunch was given out. where are they? Where are the people? So, but feeding the flock, got to get them out. By the way, we are going to be working up some new tracks. So that's all we got left, and we got to get some more going, get them on order. Incorruptible crown, self-discipline, the crown of righteousness, soul winning. Is what we were just talking about there too. You know, need to be out making people aware. There's people I've talked to that need to be coming to church, want to come to church, but they're just too busy, I guess. They know it. They know better. They know they need to be here. The world just gets in their way. You know, and that's a shame. Because one of these days they're going to stand before God. They're going to be sorry. There's nothing we can do about that. As long as we do what we do. But I just think about them crowns, because I want mine. Let's see. 1 Corinthians 10. First Corinthians 10 and verse 13. And these are all familiar verses. They're not, none of these verses are ones we haven't heard before. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that which ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I think I must be able to handle a lot more than I realize. You know, I do. But I think back on this verse, I may not always be able to quote it, tell you exactly where it is or anything, but I know what it says. We know what a lot of these verses, we may not have them memorized, but I'm sure glad God gave us that verse. Because it's a nice one to cling to, because either you're going into a trial coming out of, or in the middle of one. And if you don't finish it, you know, you run from it, you'll be back and you'll still have to go through it. You still got to finish that trial. So, John 16:33. These things have I spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation. But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Amen. You know, we was talking a little bit earlier about experience. And I don't let things bother me like I used to. You know, when I was younger, you know, I was invincible. Things bothered me too, but, you know, I had a job to do. I did it. I did it 110%. And never was much of an emotional person, according to my wife. But anyway, over the years, I've learned a lot of this stuff, we can't control it. And you got a choice to make. You can let it bother you and let it not bother you. Or you just go on through the trial and there's something there you're going to learn. And maybe it's something you may not understand that you're learning, but the Lord knows you're learning it, that you can use it on down the road. So kind of goes on to the next verse, James chapter 1, verses 2 through 8 says, my little footnote here says, count it all joy, Without turning there, I can almost sit there and say, count your trials and tribulations as joy. I mean, you're going to learn something from it. You may not like it, but you're going to learn something from it. So there's times I know I didn't like it, but the day I found out my wife was right most of the time, that wasn't fun to find out. But anyway, let's see what James chapter 1 said. It's got me curious now. James, servant of the Lord and Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greetings, my brethren. Count it all joy. You fall into diverse temptations. That's what we said. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Oh, yeah, that's amen on that. Let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. The thing about patience, I don't know about you guys, but I never did like learning patience. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, especially in this world, I want it and I want it now, So, yeah, I've learned that lesson the hard way. So one way to break you of that is stop going to the store and buying stuff and order it online and wait for it. So, do what? Yeah, now it's the next day. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth all to men liberally and bridleth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, not wavering, for he that wavereth is like the wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. You know anybody like that? I've run across a few. Anyway, let's see. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. Now, if you remember that when you're going through a trial, you start getting that knowledge and understanding. If you start getting knowledge and understanding, what does that give you? Wisdom. To have wisdom, you have to have knowledge and understanding. That's Bible. Don't ask me where, but it's in there. I know it. I've seen it. Romans 5:3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. So this is backing up what we were talking about. Proverbs 3, do the little Testament. Then we'll do some Psalms. Verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Well, if you're not a practicing Christian, I would say that's going to be hard to do. In reality, they're going to wake up one morning and sit there and say, I'm going to trust in the Lord in everything. I think that's one of those deals. You got to learn, you got to teach yourself. That's the proper way. Let the Lord work on you to learn to do that. Or I guess you could say it's kind of a goal to get to where you learn to trust in the Lord, because that's hard to do in this old body, this old flesh. I don't know about you guys, but I got saved as a little yonker, and I grew up, kind of got away from the Lord, and did get away from the Lord until I got into I was about 17, 18, 19, and then I just spent the next decade or two just kind of going to church, doing the Christian thing. I was at church on Sunday, but Monday it was back to the grind, till next Sunday or Wednesday night. I think it's a process. But you gotta want to learn that. It's kind of like learning that guitar, learning the piano. You've got to want to do it, because there's going to be times you don't want to do it. It's just kind of like serving the Lord. There's going to be times you don't want to, but you got to make yourself do it. There's times I don't want to trust in the Lord. I want to do it my way. I've gotten enough experience now to sit there and know I know better to do it than to do it my way, even if I want to do it that way, because it's not going to work out right. Lean not into thine own understanding. That's good. When we're talking about them trials and tribulations, doesn't mean you're going to understand what you're going through. Hopefully, as you come out of it, you're starting to learn and understand why you went through it. That's why you don't lean into your own understanding, I think. So, let's see. Romans 8:18. Oh, wait. I said we was going to do some Psalms while we was here. Psalms 23:4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff to comfort me. We don't have to worry about nothing, do we? We don't have to worry about it at all. But some of us just like to worry. So, let you chew on that a while. I thought that was Psalms there. No. Let's go to Romans 8. In verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them that are called according to his purpose. God sees the whole picture. We don't always see the whole picture. I don't need to go into that story, but anyway, he knows he's outside of all this. He knows what our abilities are and everything, and he knows how to get things to work together. I guess kind of like one way to look at this is your church, like believers, but we all got our own talents, our own gifts from the Lord. That's what makes the whole thing work. So, let's see, Matthew 19. Verse 26. But Jesus beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. What we're after there's God. With God all things are possible. That's hard to grasp sometimes, in this old world. The man, Frank Turner up here with Baptist Temple back in the 80s sometime. Remember him sitting up here saying, and we was talking about the book of Daniel, and it was about how man didn't quite understand the book of Daniel. God closed it up, right? So, but God slowly pulling the curtain back so we could see learn things and this, that, and the other. And that, I know this is different context, but the same thing. It's just showing, with God, all things are possible, because he's the one that's given man all this knowledge. I mean, you take the simple electricity. To us it's simple. To the electric company, it's probably not. To God, it is. All we know is we flip that switch and that fan comes on. Those lights come on. I don't think anybody really understands it, and I'm talking about your physicists and all that. From what I understand, they still don't understand it completely. But yet it works, That's just a small, minute example, So, one of the main things here would be 2 Corinthians chapter 12. Verse 9. Again, this is Another verse we're all familiar with. My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. You take everything else we know about the Bible and you apply this. Makes a lot of sense. So we need to be walking in his grace and walking in his righteousness and walking in his glory. We need to be doing that every day, especially today. We know the Lord's coming back soon. We got work to do. There's lost souls out there. Maybe a losing battle. I don't know. Doesn't matter. That's not what we're called to do. We're preparing his house. Everything we've been doing here is preparing it for hopefully the increase. Getting the basement all fixed up for the kids. I hope there's an increase coming. But there won't be an increase if we don't get out there and get to work. We can't just do all this and then sit back and let it. Okay, Lord, here it is. Come and get it. Send them in. It's not the way it works. We got to get out there and get to work. We got to be talking to people. Being an example. Not just be the church and get fed the word. We need to be practicing the word. We need to be out talking to people, or people we work with, people we know, constantly asking them. They may not come. I'd hate to say this past year how many I've asked that just, yeah, I'm Christian. Well, you're welcome to our church, Talk to them on a constant basis. They just don't want to come. So is that going to be part of the great falling away? I don't know. But I want the crowns. I want to work for the Lord. I want to get his house ready. But I also want to be working for the Lord constantly, nonstop. Just because I'm 39 doesn't mean I got to stop and retire. Yes, when I reached 50, I turned around and went the other way. There's nothing wrong with that. That's my little world. So, anyway, well, it looks like we went about 40 minutes so far. Working on men's prayer group each month. I think we're going to start meeting on Saturday, 8 o'clock, maybe the first Saturday of each month. Been talking to Brother Mike. My suggestion is always meet here because I think the focus primarily should be on prayer and not hurried and rushed to get out of a restaurant. I enjoy fellowshipping with my brethren, but we are to pray and we need to be on our knees, especially in these days. There are a lot of lost people out there, a lot of people that aren't coming back to church that we need to be praying for. There's a lot of sickness. And we need to be talking to the Lord about this. So the breakfast meal is kind of irrelevant, but it's just part of fellowship and I enjoy it. Give me some feedback on this so I can present it to Brother Mike, get his approval, but kind of thinking take turns, like say one Saturday, 1 month would be Brother Connor's turn to do the meal. It's not that he has to do it all. He might say, I want green bean pancakes, or something like that. So we got to help him come up with that and help him make it and put it together, and just good fellowship. Everybody have fun. Yeah, right here in the fellowship hall. But I will not ever turn down a cayenne pepper pancake. You haven't lived till you had one of them. They are good. Just try me. Put that to the test and try it. So, yeah. I make them all the time at home. I guarantee you. Problem of it is I tend to put in too much cayenne for somebody else. And it's also good on vanilla ice cream. Yes, it's really good. And I'm not saying that I'm a big fan of cayenne pepper, although I do like it. You just take your eggs and make them black with black pepper, and you make them red with red pepper. So, do we want to break into groups, or do we just want to have prayer and dismiss? What do you guys want to do? I'll tell you what, I want the women meet over there and men meet over here. Okay? Corey, I guess you can go ahead and cut the feed.